This is question 67 on chemistry from the 2012 IMAT. So we're asked, for the following reactions, which type of reaction is not taking place? And so our reactions are bromoethane plus the hydroxide ion forming ethanol and bromide, then barium 2 plus and sulfate, both in solution, forming solid barium sulfate. Then we have magnesium metal and copper 2 plus, forming magnesium 2 plus and copper metal. And so the reaction types are substitution, redox, displacement, precipitation, and elimination. So which one of these is not taking place in these reactions? So let's go through each of these reaction types and see if we can spot it in the reactions that we're given. So is there a substitution? So in the first one, we can see that the bromine is substituted by hydroxide, and this is a classic nucleophilic substitution, where we have the hydroxide coming in and kicking out the bromide, like so, to form the alcohol. So a substitution we can confirm is definitely present. Then what about redox? Is there an oxidation and a reduction happening? So you can see in the third reaction, we have magnesium going to magnesium 2 plus. So what does that mean? The magnesium has been oxidized. And at the same time, we have copper 2 plus forming copper. And what's happening there? That's our reduction. So we can see that this is present. Then what about displacement? Now, what is displacement? It's something along the lines of, generally, A plus BC forms AB and C. In other words, A reacts with a molecule of BC to kick out C. Has this happened at all? Well, this made it familiar because in the first reaction, we saw that A was the hydroxide and BC was this bromoethane, and we're forming AB, which is this alcohol, and C is the bromide. So the hydroxide has displaced the bromine. So this is not only a substitution, it's also a displacement. Now what about precipitation? What does that mean? So we know precipitation is when a solid comes out of solution. And is this happening? So let's look at the second reaction. We can see that aqueous barium and sulfate ions are coming out of solution to form solid barium sulfate. So this is our precipitation, which will form a precipitate. And finally, we'd hope that there is no elimination because we need one of them to not take place. And what is elimination? It's something along the lines of an organic reaction, such as hydroxide plus a bromoalkane, where the hydroxide comes in, displaces the bromine, meanwhile forming an alkene, water, and a bromide. So elimination is when we start with one or two molecules and we form more molecules than we started with. And we can see that we only have one organic reaction. That's the first one. We know that this isn't elimination, it is substitution. So this one is not taking place. So our final answer is that reaction E, elimination, is not taking place.